AITA for publicly exposing my sister's affair with our father during her wedding speech. I, 28 female, come from a family that has always been described as perfect from the outside. My mother, Laura, 55 female, is the epitome of grace and sophistication, and my father, Tom, 57 male, is a well-respected community leader. My sister, Emily, 30 female, was always the golden child, brilliant, beautiful, and the favorite in everyone's eyes. Growing up, I often felt overlooked and overshadowed by Emily's accomplishments and charm. No matter what I did, she was always the center of attention. A year ago, Emily announced that she was getting married to her longtime fiancé, Daniel, 32 male, a genuinely good guy who adored her. Our family went all out in planning the wedding. It was going to be the event of the year. Despite my feelings of inadequacy and resentment, I tried to be supportive. I was a bridesmaid, helped with the planning, and did my best to keep the peace. But then, about 6 months before the wedding, I started noticing strange behavior between Emily and our father. They were constantly sneaking off for private talks, taking long drives together and exchanging these weird, knowing glances. At first I thought I was imagining things, but the more I observed, the more I felt something was off. Then, one evening, I accidentally overheard a whispered conversation between them in the hallway. What I heard shook me to my core. Emily and my father were not just close, they were intimately involved. My father was having an affair with his own daughter, my sister. I was horrified, disgusted, and confused. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I confronted Emily the next day, and after a lot of pushing, she broke down and admitted it. She confessed that they had been in love for years and had started a secret relationship while she was still a teenager. She claimed it was consensual, that it was different, and begged me not to say anything, insisting that if the truth came out, it would destroy the family. I felt physically ill, betrayed by my own flesh and blood. I was filled with rage, but I knew I couldn't just sit with this terrible secret. I decided that Daniel deserved to know the truth before marrying Emily. I met with him privately and told him everything. He was devastated, but he didn't break off the engagement immediately. He said he needed time to think and process it all. I felt like I had done the right thing, but things were about to get even more twisted. Instead of calling off the wedding, Daniel decided to go through with it, but he asked me not to reveal what I knew publicly. He wanted to confront Emily and my father in his own way, but I could see he was crumbling inside. The wedding day approached, and I was boiling with anger and confusion. Why was he still marrying her? Why was my family pretending like nothing was happening? On the day of the wedding, I decided that enough was enough. I couldn't stomach the thought of my father walking Emily down the aisle, smiling like everything was normal, while this sick secret was hidden. When it came time for the speeches, I stood up, grabbed the mic, and decided to do what I believed was right, no matter the cost. I started with a few nice words about Emily and Daniel, but then I paused, looked directly at my father and said, "There's something everyone here needs to know before we continue celebrating." The room went dead silent. Emily looked at me with panic in her eyes, and my father's face turned ashen. I continued, "I've kept a secret for too long, and I can't bear to watch this facade any longer. Emily, my sister, has been in a long-term affair with our own father." Gasps filled the room, and people started murmuring. My mother looked at me like I was speaking another language, her face frozen in shock. Emily burst into tears, screaming at me to stop, but I kept going. I detailed everything I had overheard, the confessions Emily made, and how our father had manipulated the situation for years. The room descended into chaos. My mother fainted, and some of the guests rushed to help her. Emily ran off, sobbing, and my father tried to take the microphone from me, but I pushed him away. Daniel stood there, his face a mix of anger and relief. The entire event turned into a disaster. Guests were yelling, people were leaving in disgust, and whispers of incest, affair, and betrayal filled the air. My mother regained consciousness, only to collapse again when she realized what was happening. My father, now furious and desperate, started yelling at me, calling me a liar and saying I was mentally ill. But I wasn't done. I pulled out my phone and read the texts I had found between Emily and my father, detailing their love for each other, proving it was all true. My father tried to lunge at me, but several guests intervened, holding him back. The police were called by someone, and soon officers arrived to break up the chaos. Now my entire family is in shambles. My mother has filed for divorce and is in a mental health facility. My father is facing criminal investigation, and Emily has disappeared. Daniel has been in contact with me, thanking me for exposing the truth. But he's a wreck too. The whole community is in shock, and our family's reputation is ruined. People are furious with me. They say I should have kept it quiet, that I destroyed lives and ruined everything. Even my own friends are torn. Some say I went too far, that I should have let Daniel handle it, while others think I did what had to be done. AITA for exposing my sister's incestuous affair with our father during her wedding speech?